back to my channel. Today I have my February 1 month 1 palette update. So I'm gonna talk about the shadows I used in February and then introduce my March palette. So in February my palette was actually a bunch of singles. So I had 2 singles from Art and CN, 1 from MAC, and then I also had my Lorac Pro, which I was painting last year. I have 2 lid shades left in this, so I decided to count those as singles as well. So I was using those 5 shades on my lid all month. So I'll start with the ones I used the least, and that was my Art and CN shades. And I just found myself getting more focused on the Lorac Pro because I'm really motivated to kind of use those shades up. So I reached for those the most, and I did a similar look with these 2 that I did with the shades in there. So I think that's why these weren't used quite as much. But these are just so pretty when you swatch them. But I found myself getting a little disappointed because I don't feel like they were showing up as beautiful on my eyelids as they do when they're swatched. So here you can see they're really pigmented, they're really metallic, and I don't know if I need to use a different brush or layer it on more. I really only use these a handful of times, so I didn't really get to experiment more with them, but I really want to get some more use out of them in the future and see if I can make them look as beautiful as they look on my hand as on my eyes. So I'm kind of feeling iffy about these after this month, to be honest. Next up, I have my MAC single in the shade Satin Taupe. I use this probably the second most after the Lorac Pro, and using this one more just made me realize how much I love, love, love this shade. So that is it right there. It's kind of a taupe. It has a little purple to it. It's just really, really beautiful. It's a great all over the lid shade. It reminds me kind of pewter from the Lorac Pro, but it's lighter, so it's not quite as smoky of a look when I wear it during the day. So I really, really loved wearing that. And then finally I have the Lorac Pro, and I was working on light browns and pewter. So that's these 2 right here. You can probably tell the pan on light browns is a lot bigger, and then pewter I kind of worked on what was down here and then started moving it towards the side. So I was kind of hoping I would be able to use up at least pewter, but that didn't end up happening. I'll try to swatch these. I'm running out of fingers, but... So that is light bronze and that is pewter. As you can see, it's kind of similar to Satin Taupe. In real life, they look more different, I think, as less purple, but on the camera, I don't know if it's picking up exactly, but they're kind of in the same general family. So I like these I don't remember if I said this, but for these 2, I would wear this on the inner part of my eye and this on the outer and blend them together. Or sometimes I would just wear the gold shade all over my lid. And I kind of did the same thing with these 2. I would sometimes wear them together or sometimes just wear light browns all over the lid. So I still really like these shades, but I'm at the point where I'm not going to miss them when they're gone. They're beautiful, they're pretty, but I have so many eyeshadows and, I've realized they're not quite as special as I maybe thought they were. So I would love to use these up soon, but I'm going to be working on a different palette in March. Alright, so my March palette is, drumroll please, the Laura Mercier Eye Art Artists palette, which is such a weird name for a palette, but this is something I purchased last April. I remember very vividly the day I purchased this. There was a lot of hype about this on YouTube during the VIB sale last year, and I saw a lot of people pick this up. A lot of people were really excited about it because the original, when it was originally released, it sold out really, really quickly. So I had dropped my husband off at the airport to go to Scotland. I was really sad, and I had to return something to Sephora on my way home. So I stopped at the mall, and as I was going towards the checkout, I saw this sitting on one of those little display shelves, and it was the last one, and I looked at it and it was just so pretty that I ended up exchanging the thing I brought to return instead of just flat out returning it. So this is what the packaging looks like. I think it's so beautiful. It's kind of like a squishy, it's cardboard, but then on the top is a little squishy. I don't really know what that is. And then it has like a beautiful flower imprint and says Laura Mercier right here. Not gonna lie, like the fact that my name is Laura kind of made me want this more too, even though that's silly. And then the colors are just really stunning. So the bottom row up here is more neutrals, kind of brown neutral shades, and then the bottom is more purples. So that is what it looks like. These shadows, the quality is really nice. The few times I've used it, I've really liked it. I don't wear a lot of colorful eyeshadows, but when I do, purple is probably the color I go for most. So this is a really nice palette for me, but I just haven't been reaching for it a ton. But, you know, as I say with every palette or whatever I'm talking about, a lot of that has to do with the fact I was panning the Lorac Pro last year. I wasn't reaching a lot for anything but the Lorac Pro. So it's hard for me to, like, half the time I'm like, oh, I never reach for this, I should declutter it. And the other half I'm like, well, you know, you haven't really used it. You don't really have an opinion on it yet. So my goal for this month is to really form an opinion and see what I think of this palette and if I really, really want to keep it or not. Yeah, so we will see what I think. It was kind of interesting to see how my views have changed a little bit on my 1 month 1 palettes, to see, you know, if I really fall in love with the palette or I kind of fall out of love with the palette. So we'll see how this one goes. I do really like it, and I think in my eyeshadow junkie tag I said this was my favorite colored shadow. It's just a beautiful, it's kind of a duochrome. It's not really a duochrome, but it kind of is. I don't know. It looks gold, but it also has a beautiful radiant orchid in it, and it's so pretty. My fingers are really dirty, so I want to give you a good swatch, but that's it right there. You can kind of see how it's like radiant orchid and then gold. So I guess it is duochrome. I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's so beautiful, and I really, really like it. But like I said, I haven't worn this a ton. I've probably used it less than 10 times since I bought it a year ago. So I'm really excited to get some more use out of it and, you know, really see if this is going to be part of my smaller makeup collection as I continue to kind of whittle down my collection to the things I really, really love. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you guys are doing a 1 month 1 palette challenge, because I would love to see the palettes you guys are picking out and what you have thought of them. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!